Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 502. Ugh. Ugh. Hello, everybody. Hello, friends, neighbors, countrymen. Lend us your ears.
I've been watching this show on Netflix called 100 Humans or something like that.
Oh, what's that?
Basically, they do these scientific experiments on people that answer like burning questions about people.
Oh.
Like, does music affect your mood? Or,
It does mine.
you know, does time really fly when you're having fun?
Sometimes.
They talk about like the senses. You know, do old people really smell different than young people?
Yes.
You know, just like all these things. And so there's like, it's on Netflix. It's called 100 People something. And they have like 6 different episodes right now.
Sweet.
And you should watch it. Or like they do this thing where they have one room of people listening to like classical music for an hour. And then they have another room of people of listening to like, you know, clubhouse music for an hour.
Did
and
the
then
people in
out.
the classical room music go night-night?
Or they're just laying there like, because they
Sleepy.
think they're waiting for something. And it's for like the next thing. And they don't have names or anything. They just have numbers. They're like, human number 38, please come. You know, it's so
Weird. If I was in that room, I'd be like, why am I in here for so long? It's been like 30 minutes.
well, they know what they've signed up for. I think it's like
Sure.
a whole week or weekend or something.
don't know
And
if I
so
would
they
be
said, you know, we're going to be
that.
doing different things. You won't know what is exactly the experiment.
What's the test?
Because
Yeah.
at the end, they have them fill out like a 10-question questionnaire.
Yeah.
But they may only be focusing on one particular question for
Interesting.
the information.
I think I would be, I don't know. Do you think you'd be a good test subject?
Oh God, I would love it. But
You
the
would?
thing is, I'm pretty sure all these people are like aspiring actors or something.
Are
or
they all
performers.
are they all attractive?
No, but they all have like great personalities.
Oh, I
and
see.
so,
They're like, not only are you doing this, but you have to be nice and funny too.
well, they all are very charismatic.
Okay.
But there's tons of variety, like all shapes, sizes, colors, genders, you know, everything.
Sure.
The music one, when they were in the room, they take individuals just at random, not all of them, just random ones. They take them to a guy who throws knives on a board. And there's a person outline, and they ask him, like, would you be willing to stand there and let him throw knives at you? And the people from the classical room, like, almost 100% said no.
Really?
The people with the, like, the house club
EDM.
music, they're like, why not? What the hell? Sure, you only live once. Like, I'm in, yeah! And so, like 85% said yes.
Wow.
And so they like, music definitely does change your perception. And he's like, let's
funny.
do this. He's like, oh, hell yeah, let's do this.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But they didn't actually throw the knives because then it shows in their like contract clause, it says, you
We
know,
won't throw knives at you.
it said no knife throwing. Yeah, it
That's
was actually in there.
hilarious.
So they just had to get up to the wall and be like, they were like, you know, closing their eyes. And the guy acted like he was getting ready. They're like, all right, that's all we needed to know.
You're like,
And so they're like, really, man, come on.
Throw it! Just
You know?
throw it! Who cares?
It's a really funny show. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
You should.
okay.
I can't think of the name, but just when you're searching, just type
I'll
in the
just
word
type in
100.
100. Yeah, I'm sure
And
I'll
the
find
only
it.
reason why we found that one is because we were trying to find our show that Olivia and I love called 100% Hotter, which is a British show.
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
not on there right now. But we found 100 something humans, so that was good.
Cool. So we were talking before you and I started recording. We were talking about we had some weird dreams. I've been having some incredibly visual, weird dreams, and I was listening to something the other day, and it said that people in general are having far more vivid dreams than they were pre-pandemic. And
I wish mine were sex dreams, but
I know, right? But it's because people are constantly trying to resolve and come to peace with the stress of the situations that they're dealing with because of the pandemic or whatever their life circumstances are. That a lot of things are amplified that weren't before. And so we're working them out subconsciously, which I found really interesting. So on that note, Daryl has been dealing with sciatica, and you know what that is.
Again?
Yes. And it's...
Oh, but it was stress for him last time, wasn't it?
I don't really know if it was stress. I mean, it's possible. He's been dealing with this sciatic issue probably for about a month. I have lost sympathy, unfortunately. I know it's painful. I've had it. I had it. It was like Malia was like 3 or 4 years old, and I had it. It is really uncomfortable, to say the least.
Well,
But
don't they give him the good drugs for it or no?
They don't. You know, Daryl has asked, and they just don't do that. And so
For heaven's sake.
he's like, I want a muscle relaxer.
What does someone have to do to get a fucking Norco these days?
Oh, yeah, you can't get those. So, I mean, not for
not.
sciatica. So he's been dealing with it. And so I had a dream that he was complaining about his sciatica again. And I said, I go, you know what, just lay down and I'll rub it out for you. And he's like, okay. So he laid down, and I remember I'm physically touching his lower left back, and I'm rubbing it. And he goes,
Did you wake up and you were rubbing him?
oh God, no.
Oh, because I'm sure you'd wake up and you'd be like, well, hello.
No.
And you're like, get away.
It's 3 a.m. Get away from me. So I'm rubbing his back, and he goes, ow, that hurts really bad. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So you know those little plastic toys that have liquid filled in them, and they kind of have like different glittery colors, and they kind of gelatinously move around?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, suddenly when I pushed on him, all this green like that was kind of moving around under his skin. And I'm like, wait a minute. And so I said, hold on a second. And I said, turn on your side a bit. And it was kind of like doing that under his skin near the sciatica. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't think you have sciatica. And he's like, I don't. I'm like, I don't know what this is. We need to call the doctor. And I got scared. And I turn around to call the doctor, and I turn back around, and he's the Hulk. He turned green completely.
I'm married to Bruce Banner.
His whole body was green, and he's like, I go, oh my God, you're the Hulk. He's like, I know, look at me. And I was like, what's going on? I'm like, this is insanity. Of all the superheroes, he's the Hulk. And
really, huh?
It was so weird. And he was like not as big as the Hulk in the movies, but he was probably
so what was he, just a skinny green barrel? Yo, you look like the Grinch.
Yeah, really. It's like, you're a mean one. But it's like,
oh God, that's like his worst nightmare.
I know. It's like the opposite of who he is. So anyway, no, he he looked like maybe a professional football player size. And so he had like he was really big. And so I was like, this is bizarre. And then suddenly we are in the midst of a full on flood. And there's water is just blowing through. Somehow we're in some kind of apartment complex. So we have to jump off the deck to the lower deck to get out of all of this. So we're trying to get through these floodwaters. And he, of course, is the Hulk. So he's having no problems getting me through. He's helping me through the floods.
Was he suddenly Aquaman now, or
no, he's still the Hulk, but he's just like holding me by the hand. He's not like holding me like a baby or anything like that. So we're together trying to
fling you over his shoulder. Woman, come.
No, nothing like that. That was what was so weird. And so we're swimming, and then we have to take a detour off this flood river, and it was crazy. And the whole time he's the Hulk. And then I woke up,
and his green didn't wash off.
No, it didn't. He was a green Hulk with black hair. It was so crazy. And he still had his Daryl face, but he had like Hulk
Did he have
body.
A shirt on or no? Or was he all ripped?
He was
like
shirtless.
His clothes and everything.
Shirtless
really strange.
with ripped jeans. It was crazy.
Wow.
I was sexually attracted. I am not going to lie.
I was just like, too bad Halloween's over. He could have really did that up this year. I don't know where you get that kind of green and how much. But,
I don't know. That's a lot of green. But
he probably would have come in all stiff. He's like, well, I just went to the store and got a big jar of school paint, and now I'm all cracked and
it's acrylic. I can't
solid.
Help it. Right.
Yeah, right. It's just like, why do you look like a crinkled,
like a kindergartner's painting? What's going on?
Well, I had Malia paint me in the garage, but now I'm like crackled, and I think it was that crackle paint.
So. Yeah,
so like green in skin.
So he's like, so in my dream, I'm like, we're navigating through these flooded streets, and then at some point, I'm like, I definitely want to fuck him as the Hulk. This would be interesting. I'm interested in doing this, and then of course
You want a green wiener inside of you? That's a pickle.
What if it wasn't? I would prefer an English cuke. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, those things are long and skinny.
You know what? I'm not into the skinny, but yeah, length maybe. Anyway, so then I woke up. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Why was I dreaming of the Hulk? So you know me, I had to immediately go look up. So I kept looking up. I had a dream that my husband turned into the Hulk, and nothing was popping up.
Well, why is that surprising? You're like, Chris and Real Genius. He's like, was it that dream where you're like a Greek goddess and you're surrounded by 8,000 women who are naked throwing tiny little pickles at you? And he's like, no. He's like, why am I the only one that has that dream?
I know. It's insane. I love that movie. But I did find some superhero dreams are actually very common, and but that's not true. And so I finally was able to cobble together what I think it could have been. I still don't know. But it says, to dream of a superhero represents an unusually high degree of courage or nerve when facing an evil or antagonistic force. A hero in a dream is an emotional symbol that signifies your deepest wishes and feelings. To dream of a hero in your dream denotes your wish to improve certain aspects of yourself. Dreams such as these denote that you can't stand injustice. To dream of heroes or to transform into one may signify ego. You may be experiencing issues that feel unsolvable. Feelings about yourself or someone else being a savior of a situation with an incredible ability that overcomes a problem easily. Alternatively, a superhero may reflect talent, strength, courage that you never realized you had.
Well, I mean, that would probably describe Daryl, because, I mean, he often rescues you from yourself.
Well, it also says that it's indicative of your own self. It's not the other person necessarily. It's they're like a representation of your qualities that you think you need to have or have. Because I read that, and Paula, I went to like 5 different sites to see if, and it was the same. It was like, this is about you and your inner strength and your dislike for injustice, and it's kind of formulated into this hero, regardless of who the person is, which isn't surprising. It would be Daryl just because we're close, but it's when someone transforms, it's indicative of like you're transforming your feelings of your ego or yourself into this person. And I was like, well, that's really fascinating. And I found it really fascinating that I had it the day after my mother visits. So you never know. You never know. It's a very complex thought. But I was like, well, and the fact that it was Daryl is, it is sweet. And he was in the dream basically rescuing me from a dangerous situation. So,
Well, what color was the water?
It was dark. Very dark.
Yeah, so that means something bad.
It's emotional, yes. Water represents emotion in dreams. I've had, in the last couple of weeks, I've had dreams about tsunamis, about tidal waves. I never dream about drowning, which is interesting.
But that usually it means like feelings of being overwhelmed or by like impending like stress or doom or something like that.
I know, it's very emotionally driven.
Because you had your personal superhero. Wow.
Yeah, don't let it go to his head, though, for God's sake.
Yeah, really. I'm going to, what I'm going to get him
that
for Christmas? I'm going to get him a t-shirt. This is the Hulk on it.
Hulk is sad. And I'm like, of all the superheroes, the Incredible Hulk with his bad temper, which would represent me, by the way. I have an incredibly difficult temper. So it is possible, my rage is manifested into the Hulk. I don't know. It's really weird.
No, I think you think Daryl is like, he saves you from emotional situations.
It's possible. That is true. He did answer the door when Mom came up.
Well, there you have it. Mm-hmm. The initial shock and awe.
There you go. Anyway, so yes, I have been having some incredibly vivid dreams as well. I know others do. You were just telling me about one.
Yeah, I was sleeping on the couch this morning because I didn't sleep at all last night.
Right.
I have been saying things, or things have been coming to my mind, but they're like really old commercials or sayings.
Okay.
Like I just said, I didn't sleep at all last night. And I'm all thinking about almond delight. I don't know why I just thought about that. And then like this morning, I said, yeah, and I'm all on that too. And then I'm like, and Uncle Ripley too. What is that?
And Uncle,
what is that?
Uncle Wiggly is
Wiggly.
Shoots and ladders and Candyland and Uncle Wiggly too. There's those little kid games.
I had no idea what that was. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? Like all these things keep coming to my mind. You know what?
That happens to me.
Needs to stop. Too much soul searching in the brain. Like all these things keep unearthing in my mind,
Yes.
Like my brain is this giant, cracked land, and all these fossils are coming out.
It's all the bones of your closet leaping out.
Seriously, my brain has become a paleontologist or something like that.
An archaeologist.
Digging for fossils.
I know.
Leave the bones where they are.
Please just leave it all buried. Move forward.
Keep the dead bodies where they were. Fill it with cement.
Okay.
Jesus.
So
actually, I should tell everybody what I'm doing about my little day trips, or my little weekend trips.
You should.
Okay, so unfortunately, Sacramento has moved to the purple.
Yes.
I don't know how everybody else's states do it. Here in California, we do it by basically, we have a COVID map. Each county has a color. It either goes purple, light purple, orange, and then yellow, I think is how it goes. And that's based on like your risk factor of having COVID-19. So if you're in like dark purple, that means like if you walk outside without a mask into a store, you're probably going to get it.
Yeah.
Sacramento just went back to dark purple. Like it's real bad here. Now, some of the outlying counties, like on the border of Nevada or right on the ocean, there's only like 4 or 5 in the whole state that are gold right now.
Right.
And so my kids, we've been cooped up probably since March, I think.
Yeah.
And they're just bored to tears. Actually, when California went to purple, we were just getting ready to talk about reintegrating back into the schools starting in December and January. Well, when that came back, they sent out an email saying we will not be readdressing this until after the break in December, depending on where the county's at. So that completely got abolished, and the kids were just absolutely devastated because they were excited about the possibility of going back to like see real people, you know.
Sure.
Even if they were going to be sitting at their desk with masks on, not touching anyone.
Just a change of scenery.
Just the possibility of seeing, you know, a human being like their own age was, you know, exciting. And so I'm like, how sad is that? So, you know, which it is sad because I don't ever want to see anyone, but, you know, they actually want to see people. So what we do is, because you can only think of so many things to do before your kids, it's like you can only do so many. I'm not a craft person, but I mean, I know other people that you can only do so many crafts. You can only bake so many things. You can only paint so many things. You can only do so many art projects.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was I started looking at the yellow counties, and I tried to find like little places in those counties that look kind of fun. They're pretty rural, and that's probably why they're yellow, because, you know, there's not a lot of people in there.
Right.
And I try and find places in there that, like, most of them are kind of historical. So I'm like, okay, well, what's in there that looks, you know, kind of fun, or kind of like a little landmark place that looks like it would be a fun place to hang out with for the day or two, that we can take the dogs and we can get a relatively inexpensive motel and just walk around or take pictures or just get some fresh air and get out and, you know, take a little adventure. So we've done that, I think, three or 4 times now, actually.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah. So we've gone to a couple different places now, and it's just, it really breaks up the monotony. I think we've done it like every other month now. So what I told the kids is, I showed them the map, the COVID map for California. I said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you each, every month or every other month, an assignment. You have to pick a yellow county, and you have to find a place in there that's like a landmark or something, or a place that you find interesting that you want to go. And then we'll plan a trip and we'll go there and we'll see like what there is there to see or something. So it's kind of educational. Not that I'm
It is
trying to incorporate
educational.
education.
You're learning about California's history.
I just kind of show them like what I do on Google Maps, and just kind of, it's kind of like throwing a dart somewhere.
Well, I think it's a good idea, and it's safe. It's safe. It gets them out of the house, and you know they do learn a little.
Does everybody have their own jobs, like when you guys pack and stuff?
Jobs?
Yeah, like does Daryl pack and load, or do you pack and then he loads?
Yeah.
You know?
He loads everything because I don't want to, and
I can't.
I'm always the last one to be ready anyway. So I mean,
Well, I'm kind of like the queen. Like, you know, by the time I get in, my purse, my pillow, everything's in there, and it's just like, all right, mom's coming in, we're ready to go. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, it's my purse and my pillow, everything. Where's my sunglasses?
Yeah.
Right here. Okay. I think I forgot my water. No, it's in the front seat. All right. Well, I guess we're ready then. Where's the dogs? They're already in the car. Okay. That's how it is by the time I get outside.
Daryl is the supreme organizer of the car because he basically has to come to peace with the fact that we're going to have a lot of stuff because we're girls and we're all adult girls. And so and it depends on where you're going. But if you're going somewhere even for one night and it's minimal, you need to bring everything, you know.
Right.
And so he has become a professional at making sure everything can fit like a little puzzle. So we don't pack anything. He does it all. And then I'm the last because I'm like, wait, I gotta pee. Wait, where's my mask? Hold on. Did you get supplements? Is there Advil? Like, it's the whole thing. And then finally, I'm the last one out the door. And he's like, did you lock the door? I'm like, no, I forgot. And he's like, I'll lock it because I never have my keys. So he's kind of the purveyor of all of us kittens, trying to, he's herding us eventually to the truck. I am convinced that he has told us forever what time we have to be somewhere, and it's a lie. That it's actually an hour and a half and not a half an hour before we have to leave for somewhere, because he knows there's no way we're leaving on time if I tell them the truth. So I'm pretty sure.
We have a goal time, but we've come to the conclusion the only time we'll ever achieve that goal is if we pack everything the night before and put it in the car. Because if we even if we pack the bags, if everything is not loaded in the car, we will never meet that. Like, not the one time we actually packed everything and put it in the car, we were supposed to leave by 11. We didn't leave until 3:30.
Oh my God.
I don't know what happened.
That's a lot.
Well, I think it's because everyone had to shower, eat, and then by the time we, past a certain time, then we had to eat lunch. And, it's just like, plus we had the dogs and they had to eat. Bo had to get his insulin. Then they had to go to the bathroom. And, it's just like, it carried into like a whole nother segment of the day. And so this last time we got closer. I think we left at like 12:30 and we were trying to leave at 11. But even so, we're just like, okay, the key is to put everything in the car the night before, and then we will actually achieve our goal.
The only time I've seen Daryl really frustrated with us when it comes to leaving was when I went camping, and he was ready to rock and roll at like 6 a.m. And
that's ridiculous.
Well, because he was excited. He's like,
the only time I'm rocking and rolling at 6 a.m. is because I'm still like coming from the club and I haven't slept.
Right.
So other than that, there's no rocking and rolling at 6 a.m.
He's up and he's constantly trying to tell us that we don't need everything, that this is camping and, make sure you have a
There
sweatshirt.
will still be pictures.
Right.
So yes, we do need everything.
There were photos and no one will ever see them. So
yeah, everyone's got like their hoodie squeezed so tight you only see their nose.
We're filthy. It's just awful. And so that was the only time where he was visibly frustrated with us. I'm like, what? We're going. He's like, it's 9:00. And I'm like, okay, well, the water will be there when we get there.
I guess the fish didn't get breakfast then, right? Yeah. We'll fish tonight at dusk.
Which he did. He fished so much. And so anyway, that was the only time and he had that shit packed the night before.
Yeah, I know.
He was ready to go.
See, the thing I hate about flying too is like when I get up that early, I'm basically getting up early just to go to my impending death. I don't understand this.
I'm just gonna crash.
I always just come to the not the conclusion, but I've always resolved myself to the fact that anytime I enter an airplane, I will die. And so
I come to peace with my
I'm
death.
getting up at 3:30 in the morning to hop on an airplane just to die.
Yeah.
So this seems like a cruel and unusual punishment.
It's like, can I at least look
dressing
fresh?
up, putting on makeup and getting dressing up, putting on makeup and perfume and deodorant only to walk into the gas chamber. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like, can I at least look impossibly fresh when they retrieve my body from the field that it's going to be found in? Oh my God.
May God, really. I mean, I think I'd rather get the lethal injection.
Oh, I know.
Than the. Gosh, I watched the thing about the gas chamber the other day. That thing sounded awful.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah,
they dropped like this giant pill in a bucket of acid,
and then you have to breathe it.
They said that you would
burns.
have a lot of them would take like the biggest, deepest breath they could before
Paula,
to see if they could hold it as long as they could, and then as soon as they entered it, it would just start searing their lungs. I'm like, oh my God,
I can't. It's so bad.
I don't think I would take the breath. As soon as it dropped in there, I'd be like, I'd just take it as big a breath as I could and get it over with.
Get it over with as quickly as possible. That's what I would do, too.
I don't know. I wonder if I would prefer the electrocution or the gas chamber.
First of all, I have a very an unusual. I want to be firing range. I want to be killed. I want to be shot.
Are you kidding me?
No, I want to be killed. I want to be what do they call that? Firing squad.
You want to be shot by a bunch of guns?
Yeah, I'd rather have the firing squad, and I'd have someone pay somebody to hit me in the head immediately. Yeah,
that wouldn't happen. They don't do that.
Yeah, they do.
Jamie, they go for the torso. They do not go for your head.
I want firing squad. I don't.
I think if I had to choose, and actually those weren't even the options. And after that, it was either hanging, electrocution, or gas chamber. And so I'm just like, I think I'd just go for the electrochair. Finally, they did lethal injection, and some people still think that's cruel and unusual punishment. And I'm just like, well, you just don't want to kill anyone.
Yeah, that's fair.
I still am of the mindset we'd have a lot less crime if people had the crime that they committed against them.
Yeah.
So if you're a rapist, you get raped. If you're a murderer, you get murdered in the manner that you murdered someone.
Yeah, that's definitely cross my
just
mind.
saying,
Yeah.
I think people would not be committing as
I
many
just wish
crimes.
people didn't do shit like that's what I wish. But
Well,
that's
in a perfect
fantastical. I
world,
mean, it's
yeah.
fantasy.
But I'm just saying, if you bludgeon someone to death, you're going to get bludgeoned
be
to death.
prepared. Prepare for your bludgeoning.
Victor's always like, and I think it should be up to the families. I'm like, well, not everybody would want to do that, Victor. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
No, of course, we're different. But
we're different.
other people, I just don't think necessarily want to do that.
Right.
But and then
Right.
I watch these shows where it just shows like the family and then the murderer, and they're like, hugging, and it's like, I forgive you, and now we have this connection. I'm like, they killed your person.
No,
like, how do
that's
you have
never
this
gonna
connection?
happen.
I'm like, there's no connection.
No.
I don't get people like that. They're like, well, we both love the Lord, and
No!
I'm just like, you guys are fucked up individuals.
You guys all need to stop.
You're
right
arm in
now.
arm with the person who stabbed your daughter 27 times.
We
and
forgive
left her in a
him.
forest.
Whatever.
I forgive him, and I'm just
I
like,
don't.
well, I think you've had a split nut in your brain.
If I heard that, I'd raise my hand. Like, excuse me, I don't forgive him, and if I see him, I'm going to shoot him. I'm just saying.
Oh God, I can only imagine what my victim impact statement would sound like. I'd probably be that sign that they have at shoplifting stores. Like, this is the size of your butthole. This will be the size of your butthole in prison if you steal anything from my store.
Right? It's true. Speaking of, so I did the dumbest thing and scheduled 2 doggy surgeries this week.
Okay, again, what is with you guys and scheduling the multiple appointments?
I don't know.
Why can't you ever stretch anything out?
It's like I just want to get it
prison
over
butthole.
with. I just want it all over. So we had Sasha, our puppy. She's like 10 months old. We had her neutered or fixed, whatever you call it.
Finally.
And then Bodega needed a teeth cleaning. And so they both...
Oh, the teeth cleaning that finally happened.
Yes, because of the
power
outages, right. So that's why they ended up on the same day. Normally we were doing it one a week, but anyway. So Bodega, he had to have several teeth removed. And the doctor called and she's like, yeah, there was one where, the bone was exposed. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, yeah, it was really bad. And I said, I feel like I should apologize. I feel like I'm a bad pet owner because that stuff is preventable.
He's a dog, JB.
What's that?
He's a dog. I mean,
yeah. Well, and
he eats feces and mentioned animals.
I don't know if you remember this, but this was a while ago. I said to you, I don't remember growing up having a lot of PSAs about veterinarians saying, "Hey, brush your dog's teeth. It's important." Like, I don't ever remember that happening. I remember vets just fixing dogs, giving dogs shots, fixing them if they get in a dog fight. And that's all I remember about pet care back in the day.
That's what I remember.
It wasn't specialized.
The only time that we've noticed that we had to deal with a dog is, I think, when their breath just became so unbearable. We're like, there's got to be something wrong in there. Right. So we're like, God, her breath is just horrid.
Take her to the vet.
It smells like something died in there. And they're just like, well, we've had to remove 18 teeth and, she can only have wet food from now on. But
right. And so
other than that,
I mean, I guess I was uneducated or naive that, dogs need to have their teeth brushed regularly, which I find weird. But, Bodega had to have a bunch of teeth removed, and he doesn't always have to have soft food. He still has quite a few teeth left, but it still was crazy. Well, the problem was Bodega decided he did not want to wake up. And I don't mean dying. I mean, he was comfortable. They gave him a reversal of the anesthesia.
Thank God you did that this time and didn't cry all night.
He didn't. Reversal of anesthesia. And he's just like, you know what? No, I'm just going to be here and I'm just going to relax and enjoy my slumber. And so the vet, they came out several times and said, he's just not interested in waking up. We're doing everything we can. We gave him a little bath to try to wake him up. So, cause he has to walk out. He can't be carried out. And so we're like, all right, well, we'll just wait. So finally, they were able to force him up, and they had to take a towel and put it under his hind quarters and walk him out.
And you just got like, Bodega, get your ass out here. I'm just kidding.
And so finally, he got out.
I know for our dogs, we'd be like, you want a treat? You want a treat? And then they'd be
he was so out of it. So he got in the car, and we had to help him in the car. But he got his front part in, just not his rear part in. So he got in, he was chilling. And the vets are like, you guys are so great. And I said, you know what? Again, with the teeth, I feel like the most neglectful person with these animals. But we realized we've never had dogs this old before, ever. This is all new for us. And we've never had senior dogs. So it's weird, you know? I mean, as a kid, we had a dog that died at like 20, but we didn't take care of it. Like our parents did all that.
Oh, right. Taffy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Or like we didn't take care of it. And maybe that was the key is we just
put him to sleep. No.
Existing.
Yeah. Our parents took care of that. So anyway, I'm like, so this is all new. They're like, well, you know, they're like, yeah, you just got, you know, old dogs just get bad teeth. It is what it is, you know? And I said, okay, fine. So we get them home and our front room where our TV is looks like a fucking triage unit. There are cots. There are pill bottles. It's wet food, water bowls. Sasha's in a cone of shame. It's insane. And they are just like, they're not enjoying any of it. So day one, they take all their medications. Day two, Sasha starts refusing. She's like, I'm not eating anything you're giving to me. I'm sorry. I don't want it. We used any kind of food. We tried turkey. We tried cream cheese. We tried wet dog food, which she cannot ignore. She loves it so much.
They like rice. Did you try rice?
I've tried everything, and she won't take it. She's like, nope, I will not. I'm not taking that So I ended up shoving it down her throat, which I hate doing.
You don't want it, you don't eat.
Yeah, and so ultimately, they both stopped eating. They refused everything. And so I said, you know what? I don't give a shit. What do I care? Don't eat. Don't take the pill. I don't even care anymore. I'm done with this. And so ultimately last night they got so hungry. They ate their meds. They ate all their food. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it does work. Just withholding.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it's been a nightmare. I mean, it's coming to a conclusion.
Didn't you have like the little pill launcher that you like stick down their throat and it pops like a...
Oh, no, I've never seen that.
It's like on a big... It's okay. So you know they have those yeast infection things with the egg on the top and it's got like the little popper at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little tiny one and you place the pill in the top and then you pop the bottom and you kind of like put it down their throat, pop it, and then it pops the pill like past the point of the gag part and just goes straight down their throat so they can't launch it. Although Toby, he was the master. I swear he had like a long tongue in the back because he would just like gleek that thing right out like and launch it across the room.
Sasha did that.
And then he would bite us. Oh man. He was the worst.
No, Sasha, I shoved that stuff down Sasha's throat and I'm like, no, you have to have it. Now you're definitely going to have it because now it's a battle of wills. So I put it down her throat. That little bitch threw up. She threw it up. And just looked at me. She's like, what are you going to do now? And I'm like, if I was Mommy Dearest, I would shove that down your throat, but I'm not going to. So
I'd bring out a wire hanger and be like, do you know what this is?
Do you know what this is?
Just kidding. Let me explain to you the beauty of wire hangers.
When I picked her up, she got in the car. We're like, hi, Sasha, you're such a good girl. She looked at us and she completely turned her back on us.
She's like, what have you done to me?
She's like, I don't even want to tell you what they've done to me. And I'm like, and it's your fault.
Unspeakable things. You know what? That didn't stop our cat, Honey. She'll still escape sometimes. She'll come back with a sticky tail and there'll still be, you know, leaves and sticks and grass. And she's still a little whore. And I'm just like, did they not get it all? Like, what is left?
It's the worst.
And then Victor's, you know, and then she'll look at Victor and he'll be like, don't even look at me like that. And he's like, how do you think I feel? He's like, I have to clean her up. You know?
Oh, like, no.
She was laughing so hard. Was it the day before yesterday? She's like, Mom, she's like, look at Honey. I looked down and she was standing at the sliding glass door staring out the window. I'm like, yeah, Mom, she's just looking outside. She's like, no, you're missing it. So I look over outside. Ryan's cleaning up dog poop with his shirt off. So Olivia calls Dad and she's like, Dad, he's like, your wife's cheating on you. He's like, what? She's like, Honey's staring at Ryan. He's cleaning up dog poop with his shirt off. And he's like, well, it doesn't surprise me.
That is...
He's like, he's all, you know how she is when she gets outside. He's like,
she's so funny. Little hussy. That's hilarious.
She is. I don't know what's wrong with that animal.
Oh my God. So that was funny because we were talking. Malia really wants to get another cat.
Oh, I'm
just like, we can't, honey. I'm sorry.
Please. You're the worst person to ask. You just,
I know.
can't. And then she'll show you a picture and be like, Where is it?
She sends me all the pictures. She's like, Mom, look at this is Adrian. This is Miranda. So I'm like,
Well,
oh, yeah,
if she
so cute.
gets it, she's going to have to take it with her.
Right. And so I said, oh, yeah, I know they're really cute, but we really can't. Dad would lose his shit. We can't do it. And so the other day she was showing me kittens and I said, oh, that one's really cute. Wow, that one's adorable. And Daryl's just like, he's like, we can't have any more cats. I'm like,
He's like, what's cute? What's adorable?
Yeah, exactly. And we're like, we know. He goes, I'm the one that takes care of them all. And Malia and I stop and look at him. And I said, how many times have you tried to give a cat a pain pill? And he's like, I do the litter. And I'm like, how many times have you iced a cat's ass because of their anal glands? He's like, you don't have to do that all the time. And I'm like,
that was Angelica, wasn't it?
Yes. I go, but when it does happen, who does it? That's right.
She's still alive?
Yes, she's still alive. She's so cute.
She's so old.
I know. She's old. We have all old cats. That's the point. Anyway, so Malia's just like, Mom, look at this one. And I said, we can't do it. We just have to wait. We don't have too many animals. I want more, but we can't be irresponsible. We've got to take care of the ones we've got.
So you're just going to become animal hoarders.
No, that's not happening. I am not that person. I refuse. I refuse to be that person. Anyway, all right. Do you have any ugly and awkward moments of the week? Okay, I do too. So let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
We were in Ryan's room and we were talking to him about the movie The Departed. And then I'm like, I heard a theory that some people thought Matt Damon's character was gay. And Ryan's like, yeah, I heard that too. And I'm like, why did they think that? And they're like, well, I guess in the movie he referenced a lot. He calls people a lot of names, like derogatory names, like gay derogatory names. And I'm like, yeah. And he says they think that he did that because he was like projecting, I guess.
Okay.
And then there was an issue between him and the psychiatrist, like where they indicate that he went soft one time when they were having sex.
Oh.
Then there's a call between him and Jack Nicholson where he starts the call because she answers with like a laryngectomy, like, wah, 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 because he didn't want to like identify his voice.
Oh, right.
Okay, so then he goes out on the patio and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's where he's like, do you like Miss Thing? And Ryan and I were talking and then Victor's just like, no, he's all, do you like little Miss Thing sucking your cock?
What?
So I was just like, that's what Jack Nicholson says.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I'm like, Victor! And he's just like, what? I'm like, don't ever say that again! And I'm like, not in front of Ryan. I'm like, that's disgusting! And Ryan's like dying laughing on the floor. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I can't believe you just said that! And he's just like, Paul, he's like, we've watched that movie 1,000 times. I'm like, I know, but I'm like, I can't believe you just said that. He's like, you say like 10 times worse things all the time. I'm like, but that was just disgusting. So I was like mortified. I couldn't believe he just let that fall out of his mouth. And so we were actually getting ready to go to like the store or something. And Ryan was going to stay here. And I think Olivia was spending the night at a friend's house. And so I was like visibly like shaken because I was just like, I can't believe he just said that. So we're walking at the front door talking about it, and then all of a sudden the driveway next to us, this little girl goes running down the driveway, and I turn, I'm like, ah! And I started screaming.
What is wrong with you?
Scared me, but it's because I was like so on edge already about what had happened. And so she stops and she looks at me and she's terrified. Because I screamed really loud when she went running past me. It scared the shit out of me.
Well, let's not forget, this is the scream that actually frightened a bee out of your car. So we know you're capable.
But she was running. She was like full speed ahead, like right past me. And I was just like, ah! But I think it's just because I was already on edge about like what had just happened. I don't know why I was so like antsy about the whole thing, but I was. And so she stopped and looked at me. She was like 4 years old.
She's like, what is up, crazy lady?
And she's like, she stopped dead in her tracks and stared at me like, oh my God, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you're okay. And she just kind of like walked off slowly, like looking over her shoulder back at me.
I wonder if that's one of of those things that she'll always remember, like her whole life. She'll be like,
So I was literally
30 years old going,
laughing.
I remember one time when I was 4, this crazy lady screamed at me when I was running.
I'm like, I have no idea why. She's like, I thought there was like danger or something. And then she started laughing hysterically. I belly laughed all the way to the car and like for a good 5 minutes until we got to the store. I was laughing so hard because I don't know why I did that. And it was just the dumbest thing ever. I don't know why I screamed at a little girl running.
I don't know.
And it was all because
Paula.
Victor said, do you like the little doctor suck in your cat?
Oh my God.
It was stupid. It was so stupid. But who screams over something like it was just.
Oh, well, let me share mine with you and then maybe we can commiserate. This was a while ago, but our sister posted some kind of video and it was just a mild video. And I am so goddamn gullible when it comes to stuff like this.
Oh God!
It
wasn't the spider coming out of the glass, was it?
And I've always been. I've never not been. It's like I just don't learn my lesson. I'm so convinced that it's innocent, and then I'm completely shocked every time. So Paula or Stephanie had posted something, and I was watching it, and at the end of it, a spider comes leaping out towards the camera of this video.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of them like that. This is nothing new or exciting. So I'm watching it, and I trust my sister. I didn't think.
Okay, but you know what? That one was really believable. Like it looked so real.
It did, and so I had my headphones on because I was listening to something, and I was in the office, and Daryl was on a call. Oh no! And so I'm watching this, and I'm just sitting there, la, 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 and all of a sudden that thing comes out, and I'm gonna lean back, and I went. Ah! Like that, like really loud. And Daryl got mad. He got so mad. He's all, God damn it! He's like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, what? He goes, was that a spider video? What are you doing? Like he was outraged. I'm like, I'm sorry, and I'm laughing.
Oh my
dying.
God, that is so funny.
But when his face was pure rage, he was so Hulk-like.
Well, I remember one time he shouted at you. He's like, don't scream like that or something like that. I forgot what he said.
I know. It's the same thing.
Well, okay, so basically it showed this guy. Okay, so the video, because I saw it too,
Yes.
it shows this spider on the wall. So this guy captures it in a jar.
Yes.
And then it shows him walking it outside, shaking it onto the ground. The spider crawls out, and then all of a sudden the spider freaking jumps at the camera.
Yes.
So it looks like it was an innocent video.
Right.
When that happened, I think I had headphones on and I pushed them off my head. And I was like, "Ah!" And I screamed. I was alone in the living room though, so no one heard me because Ryan and Olivia were playing video games in his room. So I actually shared the video. I sent it to Ryan via text because he hates spiders just as much as the rest of us do. And then the next thing I heard was, "Oh my God!" All the way down the hall. He's like, "Mom, why was she's like, stop! Don't send me things like that."
That is
he was
so funny.
So pissed.
Oh
He's
God!
Seriously, Mom. He's like, I don't like those. I'm like, I know. I said that's why I sent him.
That's why I sent it to you. Yeah.
He's like, God. He's like, that was awful.
Yeah, Daryl was legit angry too. He's like, why do you scream? Why do you do this to yourself? And I'm like,
well,
I didn't
was
know.
he at least muted or no?
No.
Oh, so did everyone be like, what was that?
Probably. But, it's funny because, you don't realize how awkward you look when you are, and everybody's like this right now, headphones. And if you need glasses to see, you're wearing glasses. And so you're like, we all look like these little nerdy little worms with glasses on looking at a screen. And so when he got mad and turned and looked at me, I'm like, it's just an angry worm with glasses on.
Seriously, it's like
so funny. And I probably looked the same.
Really, it's like getting mad at, it's like it's like having, grandpa get angry at
Exactly.
you. Oh my God. We were watching Jeopardy the other night, and I'm convinced that I would be invited back just because my answers are so ridiculous sometimes. Like, they said, this Italian director directed this Western, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who is Clint Eastwood? It's like, no.
No, that's not who that is. All right, Well, I think I've said all I have to say today.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Please visit lipandclip.com to get your latest beauty needs. Also, check out our Ugly Truth merch shop. You can go to uglytruth.com and find the link there. Other than that, we'll talk to you soon.